Hey everyone, welcome back to the workshop. My name is John with Just a Nazarene Leather Company. We're at the end of July, so it's time for another business update. A lot happened this month. We're going to be discussing briefly some custom work, Bibles, when those are coming back in stock. We're going to be talking about the leather Tzits that I mentioned last week, and our August exclusive item, which is the first run of a new product that will be standard in our product line. All right, all that and more coming right now. So first of all, custom work. I have a new episode that I have filmed on the Sabine Wren Blaster Belt series. So if that's not already out by the time this drops, it will be coming soon, episode 4. So I'm continuing to work on that. I'm trying to dedicate more time to it just because it has drug on for long enough and I need to get back into it and spend a lot more time and get that project done. I also have a custom request from someone in England, hello Carl, who requested a version of my pouches, but that will custom fit his Bible that he EDC carries with him every single day. I guess EDC carry is redundant, that he EDCs every day. All right, so he asked for some belt pouches that'll fit his exact Bible, and so I've gotten the dimensions for that. That'll be coming up shortly. That'll get that. So that's custom work that has come along that I've been working on this month, and I'm not currently accepting new custom work. I just don't have time to get to dedicate to it. As you've probably noticed, this Sabine Wren Blaster Belt series has been going on for quite a while, so I need to be able to get stuff done. All right, the biggest thing, all right, that we got hit with a bunch of sales this month, for which I am extraordinarily grateful, are the new versions of the scriptures coming out. So I've got a couple done. I'm going to make a few more today and get them going. I've got 10 Bibles, all right, that I have to get covered. I've only got 2 of them right now, but each day I'm going to be getting a few more until I get all of them done. Those will be coming available on our website on August the 1st. All right, so I had a bunch of people email me when we sold out of Bibles last month. That was a blessing. Let me tell you how that happened. There was a gentleman who I met at the Refuge Ruckus back in March. We sat together at a table for Shabbat. We talked. I listened. Good guy. Goes under the name Beartron on Instagram, and he bought some of our very first Bibles that we covered and had for sale a few months back. And then he decided that he wanted to buy 2 more and give them to different people. All right. So not only was he getting leather Bibles for other folks, but every one of these that we sell, Just a Nazarene Leather Company donates regular copies of the scriptures through Grindstone Ministry. So when you buy one, you give one. All right. So Beartron helped donate extra Bibles, and he also bought Bibles, the leather version, for different folks. And one of those guys happened to be a guy, I'm not sure if you know who he is, a little fella named Bear Independent. All right, I'm being facetious. He's a very strong man, strong personality, and a man of God. And he has a lot of influence, and Bear Independent graciously gave us a shout out on one of his bear briefs, and yeah, within 24 hours we sold out of Bibles, and that all resulted from an act of kindness, someone who wanted to give. That's a good community. Thank you, Beartron. Thank you, Bear Independent. I really appreciate it. And to those of you who have joined this channel, who have subscribed as a result of getting in contact, wondering when Bibles are coming, this is the time to find out when new things are coming, when they'll be posted. This and my Instagram, which, by the way, if there are any of you who are subscribed to this channel that are not following us on Instagram, you need to check out Just a Nazarene Leather on Instagram. We post a bunch of stuff there also. So this is where you find out when things are happening. So August the 1st, we will have these Bibles back in stock. Okay? So there you go. That's a big thing that happened. Let's see, what else? Tzits. All right? Tzits, for those of you who don't know, they are tassels with a thread of blue that are worn on the clothes. God commanded his people at the end of Numbers chapter 15 to wear tassels with a ribbon of blue in them as a reminder to be obeying God's law. All right? And so people who believe like me, who follow the Nazarene, all right, Yeshua himself, we wear these. Okay? In fact, Yeshua wore these. There is a story in the Bible of a woman who was sick for years. And she sought after Yeshua for healing and was pressing her way through the crowd and grabbed a hold of the hem of his garment. Our English versions translated from Greek and such say, well, that hem is actually most likely the Tzits that Yeshua was wearing. She grasped a hold of them and was instantly cured of her illness that she had had for 12 years, an illness that made her unclean and a pariah from society. And so if we, as followers of Yeshua of Nazareth, are tasked in Scripture with walking how he walked, doing what he did, well, this is why we wear Tzits, because Yeshua did. All right. So there's a lot of people that wear these, and I just thought it'd be a good idea to have a leather loop option. All right. So a month ago, last month, I told you about these. I showed them to you. We had an Instagram post. We had people vote for which of the loops that they liked with the styles, and of all the styles, style number 3, this skinny one right here with a button stud, actually won. This got the most votes. It was followed fairly closely by style number 2 here, all right, on Instagram. And then third, getting almost no votes, was style number 1. And then getting the fewest votes, just a single vote actually, thank you 12C, this one, all right. I actually like this one the best, but hey, there we go. I have another Instagram post that shows these after a month. I'm about to turn the camera around and kind of talk through the different designs, because what I did, I took each of these designs, and for 1 week out of the month, this past month, I wore them and I rotated where I wore them on my pants. And each one was at each 4 spots. Normally they're worn on either side, and then 2 kind of front center near the belt loops that are on your pants. So for 1 week, this one was at each of the 4 spots. And so I rotated it. All 4 of these got in all 4 locations over the 4 weeks. And so let me turn the camera around. I'll show you what they look like after a month and where we're going to go from there as far as product testing and keeping. This is kind of the alpha testing phase where I am kind of exploring what works, what doesn't, because sometimes something that looks cool isn't actually functional. All right. So enough talk. Let me turn this around and move some stuff out of the way and show you what I'm talking about here. Alright, these are in the same order as the Instagram post. This is style 1, 2, 3, and 4. So styles 2 and 3, with 3 being the winner, actually got the most votes. Styles 1 and 4 got the fewest. But let's look at how they held up. Alright, after a month, after being a week in each position that you would wear one of these. This one only had 1 snap. Alright, and let's kind of zoom in here. Focus here. Come on. Alright, it's having trouble focusing and I'm not sure how to get it to focus. This has a bend in the leather right here. I'm sorry, you're probably having trouble seeing that. Because it's only one point of contact right there, I don't think it would be very long at all, especially if this isn't taken care of, for this to start to rip and to tear. So I can't say I'm overly pleased with this design here. All right, there's only one difference between this and number 4, and that's that this has 2 snaps. All right, this one actually held up the best as far as not looking as worn and rough and ragged after a month. The only problem with this one's a little bit too small. So I made this one too small. We'll talk about this one in just a bit. All right, so there's a side view of what that one looks like. Okay, as I predicted a month ago with this one looked pretty cool, got a lot of votes. This is initially some of the hardware and stuff that I really wanted to use. I just couldn't get it to work properly in a design like this. It was too thick. So I opted to go for this longer piece, and just as I predicted would happen, this whole thing kind of bends forward. So if you're wearing these on the front of your pants, this is what's going to happen, and this is going to start to stick out. All right, and then if you don't put it in the exact same spot and you're wearing it on the side of your pants, your Tzits are going to stick out like this. So I can't say I'm overly thrilled with that design. That's what I thought would happen, and indeed it absolutely did. Okay, this one, the one that got the most votes, actually suffers from a similar problem as this one. There's only one point of contact for the attachment, and so this one actually started to flare out just a bit also. So I think that could be fixed with some type of snap or rivet, or maybe 2 of these button studs. I want to continue with this kind of design because I think this slimmer one could be almost a dressier look, but look at how wrinkled and everything that ended up being. It's just a rivet holding that tiny piece of hardware on. I think I'd go with a smaller button stud. There's a size down that I could use for this. I just didn't have any on hand when I designed this, so I use a larger one. So I think a smaller one would do well. Maybe 2 would be better, but these things are not cheap. Okay, snaps are cheap, rivets are cheap. These button studs are not cheap. So if there's 2 button studs in a set of 4, because whatever I end up selling these, there's going to be 4 of them. So that means 8 button studs. That's going to drive up the price pretty high. So I'm not sure that's going to be a viable route to go. But I don't know. I'm going to keep it exploring. I'm going to keep a similar design to this and just kind of mess with it. And when I have a new version ready to go, I will let you know, and we'll go through the more alpha testing for the new design. All right, so I want to keep it. This was the most popular one that got voted on. I think it works the best with the smaller hardware, considering how thin the nano paracord is on this, and most people's Tzits are thinner like this. All right, this one got the fewest votes. However, this one actually held up relatively well. All right, it still looks great. There's 2 snaps. 2 things I would change about this. I would get a slightly smaller snap. I feel like these snaps are too big and they kind of overwhelm the design, even as thick as the leather is. I also would put more room in here. This could fit on one thickness of my belts that I make, which my belts are about a 1/4 inch thick. All right, so they are pretty hefty things, but when I wore it kind of on the left side of my pants, when I have the end of my belt that I put on going in, yeah, this could not fit 2 thicknesses of my belt through it, so it was too tight for that. So this just needs to be a little bit larger, a little bit more leather in there, and then make these snaps smaller. And I'm really liking this as far as the functionality, for having a beefier version. Like if you've got the Tzits from Sanctified Supply Co., they could go on here. However, I've not had any luck getting those unknotted from the hardware that they provide with it, so I may have to talk with them and see if they can just tie some Tzits onto this hardware, and who knows, maybe we'll have a collaboration there. So yeah, I think that would be interesting. But I'm liking this design for a beefier everyday option, a very manly look to it. And then I'm liking this design for a sleeker option, but just the nature of the hardware on there, this may end up being more expensive. But I really think there needs to be 2 points of contact. Oops. Otherwise, you just got that weird curve and bend to it. All right. So up on the Instagram, I have front and side pictures of both of these after a month to allow you to go in and re-vote for which ones you think held up the best, what styles you still like. Maybe your vote changed. Maybe it didn't change. That's fine. Let me know which one you like, because ultimately I want to make stuff that you're going to like, that you're going to wear, and that best serve your needs. All right, let's get back to this. So, this past month, we were able to go on a trip to the mountains of North Carolina. So, you've probably seen a few pictures on our Instagram. There's some beautiful stuff. We got to test out some of our gear. We got to enjoy God's creation, spend some time with Him, spend some time with family. It was a nice break. We haven't been on a vacation in years, but we were also able to get some business stuff, as I alluded to just now, get some pictures and things, test out some gear. We filmed some videos out there, was able to share a little bit about how we got started into leather crafting and then into business. I'm not sure how many of those have posted by the time you're seeing this, but check out the business side series. You'll see the ones that are our story. It was a picture my wife took of me on top of a place called High Bethel. Bethel means the house of God. It's up at the top of a cliff, and you look out, and there's just a vast expanse of mountains. You know, it takes 7 or 8 pictures to go across and get the entire panorama of the Appalachian Mountains there, and it's just absolutely beautiful. There's blueberry bushes up there. We were able to do some foraging, and you just kind of sit and be still and be quiet and thank God for what He's done. It was quite a hike to get up there, but just absolutely beautiful once we did. I had been there before. My wife had never been there, so I knew, like, you're in a very tight, narrow path. The trees and brush are in around you, and then all of a sudden, it just opens up right at the very end, and you stop breathing for a second, because it's absolutely gorgeous. So I went ahead to lead the way, and then when I knew we were getting close, I told my wife, I was like, wait here, count to 20, then come out, so that I could step out, kind of hide out of the way to where she had an unobstructed view to see everything. And it was just a beautiful time. So the thumbnail for the Our Story videos will be that one of me up at High Bethel. Just a good experience. My wife took some pretty good pictures, so you can see a few of those on Instagram. I may put a few here. I'm not sure. So yeah, one of the products that we were testing out just to see how well it would hold up is our August exclusive item. All right, this was actually supposed to be an item that was going to be on our site a month or more ago. I've actually had them made for just a bit, but we were having issues with manufacturing, and I had the first few made, but I wasn't sure I could get any more. So we have something with manufacturing, a deal pretty much worked out, just waiting on a few final confirmations, but I'm fairly confident we can get more of our of this particular style of bag made, so I feel comfortable enough with it to go ahead and launch the ones that I've got. And so yeah, we wanted to test it, see how it hold up, how it would hold everything, would it do what I think it is supposed to do when I designed it. All right, so I am pleased to show you again, after a couple months, our wax canvas bottle pouches. All right, this is mine. This is the one that I had in the photos that I wore on my belt. It is the exact same style of wax canvas as our foraging pouches. So, foraging pouches, same leather as our belt pouches. You know, it's almost like we're trying to have a theme here. So it is that same 10.10 ounce grid wax canvas, all right, that we've got. And so with these items, all right, you're gonna have matching sets, you know, stuff that actually looks like it goes together. And it may seem fairly simple, and this initial design is, but let me go over some of the features of this. All right, first, with the belt loop, you can get a belt loop with snaps, or we have some, get this one open here, we have some without snaps. All right, so just like with our pouches, they come with or without snaps, so do these bottle bags, but that's the only difference. Everything else is exactly the same. All right, so they are roughly 9 inches tall, just the canvas part. Obviously the belt loop's going to stick up a bit more. By the way, the reason we have our belt loop set up a little bit higher is so that if you're wearing this on the front, all right, let me point the camera down a little bit. So if you're wearing these on your belt in the front, and then you go to sit down, all right, or squat down or whatever else, this allows you to still hold your bottle bag, your belt pouch, whatever else, without messing up the gut that's right here. I've had the belt pouch or the belt loop set shorter, and when you bend over, it really stops you. So when you're out in the woods, when you're doing stuff, you may need to squat. You need to be able to sit down, maneuver over some areas, and you don't want your range of motion inhibited by your gear. So that's why we have the belt loop set up a little bit higher, to allow for the motion. So if I need to step over a log, I'm not going to hit my appendix or whatever else, and I'll be able to easily transverse that. So that's why we have our belt loops set up high. Because of the weight of this, there could be some tension side to side. So just like we do on our belt pouches, there are a total of 4 stitch lines on this. All right, 2 on the top part of the belt, through there, I don't know how well you can see it, and 2 across here, and they're double stitched all the way down. So we go all the way down and back. That means there's 8 stitch lines per belt loop on here that hold all of our stuff. All right, but because this has more weight and the canvas is a more flexible fabric, we have also included rivets at the end of each of the stitch lines to ensure that it's not going to pop out, it's not going to come loose. We do a similar thing to our stitch lines for the belt loop portion. All right, on our foraging pouches, we put rivets right there, just because when you're taking this off, there's going to be tension side to side, and we do not want those stitch lines coming out. So we've tried to anticipate how these things are going to be used, and make sure that we're reinforcing the areas that need to be reinforced. All right, so those are the belt loops. You can get one with snaps, without snaps. Each one can accommodate up to a 2-inch belt. All right, this one a little bit more, just because we need all 4 snaps. 1 snap is not great, 2's okay, 3's just kind of weird, 4 snaps, I've never had one of these come off. All right, whether it's a pouch, whatever, never had any of my snaps come loose. All right, we have paracord in this bottle to cinch it down, and a 100% solid metal barrel toggle or a barrel cord lock that's on here. This isn't a piece of plastic, this is a piece of metal. All right, we wanted high quality stuff. I was glad when I saw those things come on the market. All right, on the inside, all right, where this pouch comes together, there is, let me try and get that in focus, there is a rivet here. Again, same concept. There could potentially, that's, if this thing is going to rip, a seam come undone, it's going to be right there. So we've put a rivet in there to close it up to make sure that it's not going to come apart. We don't want that. One last thing about the structure and construction of these pouches before we move to what is on the inside. Each of them has a grommet hole, a drain hole in the bottom. Now you'll notice it's not at the very center, it is more towards the front. That is because when you go and hang this up, that's going to end up being the lowest point. So because there's a water bottle, right, especially if you're dipping your water into a creek, a mountain stream, whatever else, as you use it, as the cold water's in there and it condensates, there's going to be moisture and water that gets into this. All right, so we wanted the option to have that water drain out, and so that is where we have a grommet right there, and it is positioned specifically so that that is the lowest point when it's hung up by the belt loop. All right, these are approximately 9 inches tall. I think I mentioned that earlier, and about 5 inches wide. I specifically wanted these wide because I didn't want it to be a tight fit. I wanted you to be able to get your whole hand in there around your bottle and pull that out. These are designed for any 32-ounce bottle, all right, whether that is a plastic Nalgene. They also have a metal Nalgene version of that, or something like a Pathfinder bottle. All right, all of these are relatively the same size, and it fits all of them, okay? But that's not all it fits. This isn't just designed for a bottle. Don't let the name fool you. This bottle bag is spacious enough to carry with you a bushcraft, an entire bushcraft water purification kit. All right, and part of that kit actually will need to be in your belt pouch because a big thing of water purification, you need the ability to boil this. All right, well, if this is going to be wet and potentially have extra water in it that leaks out, that condensates out, you don't want that getting your tinder bundle, your lighter, whatever else wet. This is where this item works better in conjunction with another one of our items. All right, we're trying to build a whole system here. But aside from fire, all right, whatever else you need to filter, pre-filter, and purify your water, you should be able to carry in this kit. So let me show you some of the things that I've got. I've got my nesting cup in here. Still has some debris from when I was testing it out in North Carolina. All right, so yeah, got my nesting cup. At the very bottom, I've got my lid. This is all the Pathfinder bottle and nesting cup set. All right, so that entire thing fits in there. That's how I've got it packed. In addition, and this was on my Instagram, and here I've also got my Pathfinder millbank bag. All right, so you dip this in the creek, river, wherever you're at, stream, then fill it up with water. You hang it up and allow that water to drip through and fill up your cup. All right, this gets whatever large debris and such, bugs, leaves, sticks, whatever else, out of your water to where you're just left with whatever the creek water is. You then boil that or put in purification tablets, whatever you need to do, and you will have drinkable water. Well, this is designed to hang up, and so it's probably good to have some paracord in here. And so I've got a hank of paracord that I use, that I keep with my millbank bag here. That can all fit. In case I'm heating this stuff up, that I want to make coffee or tea or have some type of meal, I carry my spork in here. This is just my Yuko. I think I got it from Walmart back when they had a metal one. It's aluminum, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I carry a spork in there. I also carry the Pathfinder fish mouth spreaders, all right, that are compatible with not only, let me open these, not only the Pathfinder cup, all right, to be able to pull that out of the fire, they are compatible with the lid, all right, on the cup at the same time, to where you can use these in conjunction with one another. And also with the Pathfinder bottle itself. So yeah, it's not going to come out. All right. So this is a great piece of gear. Very well thought out. Dave Canterbury's Pathfinder bottle system, and you've got to buy their fish mouth spreaders because they're the only ones that are fully compatible with all of their stuff. If you get another random generic fish mouth spreaders from like Amazon and such, you're gonna have to bend them in a certain way to hopefully get it to work on the stuff. So this is a great piece of kit that I keep with my bottle set. All right, so there you go. Shameless plug for Pathfinder and Self-Reliance Outfitters. I don't get anything from them. They just make really good stuff. So I highly recommend their gear. And then the last thing I've got in here are some aqua tabs. All right, so some chlorine tablets that I could use to purify my water. I'm pretty sure each of these little packs, there's 2 tablets in there, that they're good for a quart. And so if I couldn't build a fire, it was just really wet. And actually where we were at in North Carolina is technically a temperate rainforest. So it rains about 1/4 of an inch every single day, at least. So everything is damp and soggy, very difficult to get a fire going. So if you're in a situation like that, fire is not possible, good to have some aqua tabs with you to purify your water before you drink it. So all of that stuff, that entire kit minus the fire, right, in case you need to build a little fire, can fit inside this bag. All right, and it's wide enough to get your hand in and get just your bottle out, drink, put it back, and then have your entire kit there when you need it. All right, one last feature of these that I forgot to mention, the way that this is designed, it is designed with a flat bottom. All right, not a domed rounded thing, so that this can sit up and not fall over. You can take it off your belt, set it somewhere, it's not going to fall over while you're getting your different things out. So especially having a nesting cup at the bottom, that'll keep this upright. And yeah, because it has the belt loops just like with our pouches, you could put one of our leather shoulder straps through there if you didn't want to carry it on your belt. If you wanted to have a little bit more freedom with it, to be able to take that on and off quickly, put a shoulder strap through it and you can carry it crossbody. All right, so a lot of good options. These are coming available. We only have a few of them. All right, August 1st. August 1st you can get yours. We've only got a few without snaps. They're mostly with snaps on the belt loop, but these are first runs. All right, these were made by my previous manufacturer, and so once I get my new ones in, they will look slightly different from this. It's still going to be the same fabric and everything, still going to be brown thread and such, but as far as just the way they're stitched up, maybe some slight dimension change. They may be a little bit wider, a little bit taller, whatever else. Bottom line is, these first runs that are available in August, you will never see ones like these ever again. All right, but the wax canvas bottle pouch will, in some form, become part of our regular product line, because my goal is to get to where is to create products so that you can carry a minimum survival kit on your belt. All right, that's the goal. Now here's the thing. Once you start getting a full fire and navigation and whatever else kit, once you've got your foraging pouch that's full of stuff that you've picked up along the way, and once you're carrying a water purification kit and 2 pounds worth of water in here, that's going to get really heavy really quick. All right, so let me show you one more thing just to kind of show you the next phase of what I'm working on for what I affectionately call the bushcraft belt rig. Let me show you that. Here it is. This is my first initial prototype for suspenders. Alright, it's long, it's clunky, there's extra pieces and such right now. This is made with the same type of leather that our belts are. It will have chest strap, I just don't have that completed yet. Alright, because once you start carrying all that weight, you're going to need help keeping your belt up and your pants up, because we haven't even added a knife sheath yet or a shelter kit pouch. Alright, but I have those in the works. But you're going to need a way out of tough leather, alright, something that can stand up to the outdoors to help carry all of your gear. Alright, we're also toying with the idea of having underarm straps in here to where you could have other things and other attachment points on the suspenders themselves. So they will actually attach to danglers. Alright, these danglers will end up being a separate item on our website. You could use them in conjunction with things like a knife sheath or just whatever other gear that you have that you need a little bit extra length to allow, maybe based on the way you want to carry it, or just you need more mobility with getting up and down, so it's better to have your knife sheath maybe a little bit lower so that your knife's not poking you in the gut. Whatever you need to do, we'll have danglers. But these danglers can also be used upside down on the same belt and be used as attachment points for the suspenders. So a multi-use, multi-functional item. And yeah, that's what we're working on now. Still trying to figure out the sizing. These won't be as long, but this is just a preview of what's coming for our product lines. And just, you know, I am actively working on all of this stuff, but I got to make sure that I get it right. Okay, so yeah, some pretty thick stuff. Still toying around with a few ideas here, but yeah, that's a good solid 1/2 inch or more of leather through there. It's not going to stretch on you. This will eventually be dyed and waxed to be able to withstand the outdoors. So yeah, we've got more things coming. I'm working on things, I promise. But if you want good quality takes a little bit of time. Alright, so that has been our July business update. We've got a lot going on. I've been working on a lot, and so being productive, alright, is better than being busy. And I feel like this has been a productive month. I like the direction that we're going, and hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight into what we've got going on, maybe some excitement for the future. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you do that. If you haven't followed us on Instagram, please go over there at Justin Nazarene Leather, all underscores between those words, and follow us for updates. Bibles will be available August 1st. All right. Wax canvas bottle pouches available August 1st. Also, that is the August exclusive item. And I think that's it for now. All right. Thank you for joining me in the workshop. I hope that you have enjoyed this update, and I pray that you are blessed. This is John with Justin Nazarene Leather Company. Go with confidence. Bye now.